recently I was talking to you all about how I have kind of this dream or this wish, I guess, of going on the Nintendo Switch eShop and finding like a budget game that's not very expensive, but it's also tons of fun, like kind of finding this hidden gem. I want to tell you guys that uh, I'm going to review a game today by the name of Frost. And I also want to tell you that this game actually is one of the inspirations for this podcast. I was actually researching this game, or I should say, trying to research this game, several months ago. I saw it on sale in the eShop, and of course, it's a card game, so I was interested. And so I always try to do my research before purchasing and look online, and I was having trouble finding any information about this game. I did see that it was available as a part of a bundle with another game called Monster Slayers, which I'm going to give you a review of that game very soon as well. I could find hardly any information on these games, and I did find some gameplay videos online, but I found hardly anybody at that time who was given like a video review or a review where they're telling their thoughts about the game, how good they. I couldn't get a great idea of the games because I couldn't find out any information. And I thought, man, this is a problem with these uh, lesser known maybe card games, digital card games. I can't even research the product to find out if it's worth purchasing or not. So you just kind of have to take a chance on some of these. But here I am. I'm here to help you guys out. I've done the work. I've played the game, and I have my review ready for y'all. Listen, man, I'm very happy because my wish has kind of come true here. I'm playing this game, Frost. I am loving it, y'all. Frost is a deck building game where you're trying to survive some journey through the snow. You're journeying through this cold, frozen, just everything's filled with snow. And you have 7 days. There's a counter that tracks. And if the 7 days go down to zero and you haven't made it through, then you are dead. You and your band of survivors, they don't survive anymore. They're dead. A day is basically equates to one turn in the game. So you're trying to survive and progress through all the locations to finish your journey. Otherwise, your group succumbs to the frost and you all die. An expedition usually consists of about 20 locations that you have to go through in order to make it to the end. So in order to move forward from a location, you have to provide resources indicated on the location card. This is where your deck comes in. Your deck is made up of a bunch of different resources and then also some fatigue cards. So for a location, you might have to have like one piece of wood, two fruit, and two villagers. So you draw a hand of, I think maybe it's like 5 cards. And maybe you have those resources, in which case you just play them and then you go on to the next location. When you do move forward, you'll earn an extra day added to your counter. So basically, you don't want that counter to get down to zero. When you move forward, it'll go back up one. So it goes down every time you can't meet the requirements for a single day. You can't play those resources. And then when you are able to play them and you travel to the next location, you earn that day back. You earn that point back. Each card in your deck provides one of those resources. And then, like I said, there's fatigue cards that just don't do anything. They just clog up your hand and they're of no use to you. They're a major nuisance. There is a way that you can remove fatigue cards if you draw a whole bunch of them, but it takes a day to do that. So you're kind of always trying to find this balance of, man, is it worth a day to get rid of this? I mean, I have to draw another hand anyway, so I might as well remove this fatigue so I don't draw them again next time around, right? Because you're constantly cycling through your deck. So there's also other cards that you can run into, like tools or weapons. Sometimes you'll need a weapon to defeat, like a wolf will pop up, and if you don't kill the wolf, when you travel to the next location, he'll kill one of your survivors. And so that's another way that you can lose the game is if you run out of survivors, if you run out of lives, you lose. You don't make it to the end. So there's this constant just struggle to try to make it forward. You can craft tools out of unneeded resources, which can help you accomplish other tasks. So sometimes you'll have it where you can make some sort of tool out of like a stick and 2 fruit. And that tool might help you draw 3 or 4 cards. So if you really need like people, for example, but all you have is wood and fruit, well, you could trade in your wood and fruit, get this tool, trade in this tool to draw 4 more cards, and hopefully you'll draw a person, and then you can play it and move to the next location. So there's a lot of strategizing what to do with your resources. I tell you, man, I've been having a lot of fun with this game, and after the break, I'll tell you what specific things I like and dislike, and all about the overall value of this game. The look of Frost is the first thing you'll notice, and the screen is washed in white. It has a snowy aesthetic and feel that is spot on here. Everything is white. All the cards are white. There's a very minimalist design to this game. It looks the way it should as you're like struggling through this frozen land. Now, I know some people may be concerned about that. Oh, all is white. That means the screen brightness is going to be high. That's going to impact my battery life. It may be a strain on my eyes. Well, if that's you, then there's actually a nighttime mode that you can turn on in this game that changes the white to dark colors, so like black, brown, and it's not as much of a strain. So I think that's a really cool feature. I wish more games had that. But that is here just in case you want that. Because of the balance of the game, it really does feel like you're struggling for survival just to make it through a few more steps. You'll have places where you're really close to dying or you're on your last day and then you just draw what you need. And so then you play it and you go to the next place and you earn yourself one more turn, you know. They nailed the feel here. They nailed it. I encountered, while I was playing the other day, I encountered a card called Cannibalism. And it's one of these trades. You can make a trade. If you cash in these resources, then you'll get these resources in exchange. And for Cannibalism, you can trade 1 person. And if you do, you receive 2 fruit. And at the time, I desperately needed fruit. And so I kind of cringed. I'm like, man, am I really going to resort to cannibalism here? I cringed to sacrifice the villager, but I had to do it, y'all. I needed the fruit, man. I needed the fruit. The rest of the group depended on this one villager to make their sacrifice so that they could eat and live for another day. And, oh man, guys, so I cashed in. And when you do cash in on cannibalism, the fruit shows up as a bloody pile of meat. Oh man, I tell you what, that is just brutal. You know, the brutal feel of that means that this is a well-designed game. Like the fact that I could feel the impact of trading a villager so that I could have 2 pieces of fruit to eat, which is actually not fruit, of course. Man, that is just good game design right there. And so that was a memorable moment. Let me say this. There's not really anything I dislike about this game per se. Just, you should know that it's a single player only game. There's not player versus player or anything, like that. The presentation is pretty minimalist. Now, I think that works with the theme and atmosphere of this game. I know some people might look at it and say, well, this looks lazy. These are all just hand-drawn things. It looks, whatever. I think it's actually fitting. I don't think that's always the case with every card game, but for this card game, I do think it is fitting for the theme. The MSRP for this game on the eShop is $12.99, which I think is a fine price. I think that you'll still be happy with this game for that price, but I will say that it's on sale all the time. Check DekuDeals.com. You guys know that I always direct you there, and you can see when the game goes on sale. You can even get a notification when it does. Also, you should know that this game is available as a part of the what's called the card game bundle on Switch. Now, that bundle retails for $23.99. It's in there with another game by the name of Monster Slayers, which I'm going to give my review of very soon. And on top of that, that bundle is often on sale on the eShop as well. So monitor the card game bundle and also monitor this game to see when it goes on sale. You might be able to get a really good deal if you keep an eye out on that. As for Frost Frost is a great game. It's probably worth the $12.99. If you wait and get it for like $4 or $5, that's an incredible value. I keep wanting to go back to it and play again. And I tell you, man, several of my games, I've come down to the wire. Like I've got a few steps left on my journey. I'm just trying to make it out, and my deck is a mess. It's filled with fatigue, and I don't have a lot of the resources I need, but I'm like clawing my way, and then I just can't draw that last fruit. And so and there'll be ones that end like that. Or the other night I had one where I successfully made it through, and it was very close. That's an awesome feeling in a deck building game like this. And so I think that this is a well designed game, man. It's a lot of fun. Keep an eye out for it. I would give Frost 7.5 piles of bloody meat out of 10. Definitely recommend this game. You guys check it out. I hope you enjoyed this review. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.